Hey there guys, it's Liz here, your Integrative Health Practitioner, and today I wanted to share with you guys 3 things that, as somebody that's been through breast implant illness, has gone and gotten an explant, and as a practitioner that works with many clients on the chronic illness spectrum, and many of them have breast implant illness, whether it's pre or post explant that I'm working with them, I wanted to share with you guys 3 things that I wish I would have known and that I make sure that my clients now know. Number 1, we need to get your drainage pathways open. So what are drainage pathways? Now, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, I highly recommend going over to @biohacking_bombshell. And I actually did an entire series on this where I broke down each drainage pathway and gave you several examples of how you can open up these pathways, whether it's through specific practices, whether it's through certain products. But head on over there if you haven't already. I have an entire highlight bubble on my Instagram that archived all of these different posts and stories that I've made with that. But drainage pathways are your colon, your liver, your kidneys, your lymphatic system, your glymphatic system, which is your brain drain, your mitochondria, your cells. Guys, the reason that we need to make sure these pathways are open is because they are the roadways for your body to remove toxins, remove pathogens, all the things that tend to thrive in our body when we're going through breast implant illness, when our immune systems are compromised from having these toxic devices in our bodies. And our typical approach, whether it's pre-explant or post-explant, which I will talk about in a minute, is that we think, okay, let's let our body naturally detox, or let's comprehensively detox by taking certain products or doing certain protocols that remove toxins from our body, right? It can be certain supplements. You can be doing Epsom salt baths or sauna. You can be doing a lot of different things to detox the body. But what happens when you're trying to remove toxins? When these pathways are blocked, you have a lot more symptoms, a lot more reactions, and you really delay your healing. This is one of the biggest errors. This is one of the biggest mistakes, misunderstandings that I know I had early on in my journey, as well as many of my clients. And so the first thing that I will do with a client with breast implant illness, whether they have explanted or not, whether they are thinking about explanting or not, we need to get those drainage pathways open so that the body can get rid of all of this garbage. I like to think about it like your kitchen sink. You wash crud down there all day long, or at least you try to, right? You wash dishes, you wash off your hands. Now you're trying to get rid of all of these toxins, all this dirt and grime, right? But if your kitchen sink was clogged, we would have a big issue. You're trying to wash away all of these toxins, but if your drains are not open, if your drains are clogged, we're going to have a lot of issues, right? Stuff's going to get backed up. It's going to be problematic. It's the same way with the drains in your body. We have to get them open. So that's number 1, get your drainage pathways open. If you go to my Instagram highlight, again, like I said, per drainage pathway, I give all different types of recommendations. So I would head over there and check that out. I'll also try and link it in the comments here or in the caption here. And then let's move on to number 2. So this can vary per individual. And I definitely assess this on a very bio-individualized level per client that I'm working with after I do a full comprehensive assessment of them. But in general, just because you have not explanted yet doesn't mean you cannot detox in the meantime. I have many clients that come to me with 3-4 months until they explant, or people that haven't even scheduled an explant, don't even know if they want to explant yet. And they're wondering, is it worth it for me to detox my body when I still have these toxic devices inside of me? And my response is yes. Now, we'll always start with opening up their drainage pathways, and depending on how their body responds there, we may not approach detox as comprehensively until they go and have an explant, because maybe their body is just at that point where they can't handle something as potent, as comprehensive, as strong. It depends on the person, and we definitely assess per individual. But I have so many people come to me and say, I've heard that you cannot detox before getting an explant, that you can't do sauna before explanting because your implants will start to melt within your body. That is so false. Let me just tell you that is so false, because there are so many women that I've began to work with that have began detoxing before explanting, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that I have waited this long to do a drainage protocol, or this long to begin detoxing from parasites, from mold, from heavy metals, from viruses, all these things that can build up in the body over time from having implants, because we make perfect hosts. Because when we have toxic bodies, these things can more easily thrive. And so even though we know we're still exposed to toxicity within our body, it's the same way where if I have somebody that is currently living in mold, or as somebody that has amalgam silver fillings, I'm not going to tell them, hey, you can't detox until you get your fillings removed or until you move to a different home, because toxic is toxic. We are toxic right now. So the approach and how strongly we go at removing these toxins may vary per individual. Yes, but I truly believe that each client is able to go and begin to at least lightly detox their body in the meantime. Why would we not take the steps possible to remove toxins, remove pathogens that are just wreaking havoc on our body, that are causing more brain fog, more chronic fatigue, further inflammation, further gut issues, so on and so forth? Why would we not do it in the meantime before explanting? I have many people that come to me and say, listen, I can't afford to explant right now. I can't afford to spend, several $1,000s. Many people are spending $8,000 and above on explanting. So what can I do in the meantime? And we work with what they can do right now. So you absolutely can do that. And please don't let somebody convince you not to, unless as a practitioner that you've been working with and they do a full comprehensive assessment on you and have very specific reasons saying why they don't think that you should detox right now. But guys, remember, detoxification is such a general term. There are thousands of ways to detox. So yeah, maybe you don't go and do more of a hardcore parasite detoxification protocol, but we can still do some generally wonderful things to support and open your drainage pathways and gently begin to remove these toxins. And number 3, expect to detox afterwards. Even if you detoxed prior to explant, you're still going to need to detox afterwards. Now, again, that doesn't mean that I think somebody should wait until after explanting to detox. Some people may feel like, well, if I'm going to have to detox after I explant, then what's the point in detoxing prior to? Because you can really give your body a head start if you begin supporting drainage and detoxing prior to explant, and you can mitigate a lot of your symptoms or help to improve a lot of your symptoms in the meantime by addressing the toxins that we know are already there. You can begin to chip away at this block. You can begin to chip away at this toxic load and empty a little bit of your toxic load bucket, if you will. But after explanting, maybe for the first couple of weeks, you just want to support your drainage pathways, continue doing those practices or taking those specific products to support those pathways, and then you absolutely can go into something more comprehensive. I would recommend working with a practitioner in order to do so, whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, but this journey can be very different per person. But I think one of the most common miscommunicated topics is that, well, your body was made to naturally detox. You have a liver to detox. You don't need to detox. And for the regular healthy person, that absolutely may be true. Our body, our liver, our kidneys, etc., filter things out on a daily basis, every second, every minute. We are naturally detoxing. But when you've had these man-made devices put inside your body, and we have so many toxins like glyphosate on everything that can impair the cytochrome P450 enzyme within the liver and keep you from being able to detox, guys, you could have mold exposure that impairs your mitochondria, which are what make energy for you to detox in the first place. There's so many things that impair our body's natural ability to detox. And so if you want to naturally let your body do that for the first couple of weeks so that you don't overwhelm it by doing something very comprehensive, then please do that. I did that as well. I was supporting drainage pathways and such, not to the degree that I would have if I would have known then what I know now. But if you want to wait a couple of weeks, see how your body responds, and then go into something more comprehensive, you can. But you just have to remember that we put things inside our bodies that nature didn't create. So to expect it to be able to detox at the rate necessary to get rid of those toxins, isn't necessarily doable for many people. I receive messages every single week from women who are super frustrated because this is the message they've been told that, hey, I'm going to explant, and you think from hearing a couple different testimonials that maybe you're that person that you're going to feel like you want to run a marathon, a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple months after explant, and you're eating really healthy, and maybe you've done a couple of protocols, you've done sauna, maybe you've done some coffee enemas or castor oil packs, and you think that that's enough, and you're super frustrated because maybe you're at that point where you feel like you're just destined to feel this way. Maybe you feel like this is your fate and that you are forever going to feel this way, and you have this resentment for choosing to get the implants in the first place. I hear all different types of stories, and I understand because I've been there as well, because I felt like I was doing all the things. And I'm like, why the hell am I not getting better when so many other people are getting better? What is left? Like, what else are we missing? And my drainage pathways aren't open. I haven't comprehensively addressed mold, and I definitely had not addressed parasites. So opening drainage pathways, addressing parasites, and then going and addressing those other toxins are absolutely the steps that I would be taking if I had to do it all over again. It's absolutely the steps that I've been taking now and that I take with every single one of my clients. So guys, I pray that this was helpful for you. Again, if you have any specific questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, or you can go ahead and book that Healing Accelerator bundle with me, and we can dive into this stuff for a very personalized, bio-individualized approach for you. And head on over to Instagram if you want as well. I've done a lot of trainings, different content, different stories and posts, different reels on drainage, on parasites, on detoxing in general. I've shared a lot of my breast implant illness journey over there as well. And if you have any topics that you'd like to hear on in the future, please feel free to comment below. I'm always up for recommendations. Mwah, and God bless.